Welcome to the best of the worst, the Seattle Seahawks Path to the Podium, episode 18. Now, I hope you guys are still enjoying this video. Once again, try and hit 20 subs by the end of February. I really appreciate it if you leave a like and a subscribe and a comment. I respond to all comments. But yeah, this is also, I think, episode 4 or 5 without my headphones. It's not feeling great. I still need to get a new pair of those, but just haven't had the time for it yet. For those of you who are still wondering, I have nice broken headphones. It's a very fun time, but we're not here to talk about broken headphones. We're talking about the best of the worst, and the worst position to be in my opinion, is the Seattle Seahawks. Didn't make the playoffs, but also was the last team out. They had 10 wins last year, didn't make the playoffs, and overall, this team looks a lot worse than they actually played. So, overall, let's take a look at this team. Geno, decent quarterback, not the future. We're going to be drafting a quarterback. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, running back, set. Wide receivers, DK, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett. I hear there's rumors they're cutting Tyler Lockett. In this rebuild, I am going to be doing that, most likely, unless it hurts us in the long run. And then secondary, Reek Woolen, Kobe Bryant, and Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love, and Trey Brown, pretty decent. Leonard Williams at D-tackle. The issue is interior offensive line and linebacker core. Those are the best things that we need for this team. So let's get quickly started. Let's look at Tyler Lockett. He does save us money, so I think we are going to cut him. The Seahawks are not in a great spot in terms of cap room. We don't get any savings by restructuring. We do get a lot of saving by cutting Geno Smith. Would the Seattle Seahawks actually do that, though? I don't believe they would. But, I mean, we're going to get rid of McIntosh, too. Finley, we don't need Drake Thomas. We're just getting rid of some stuff. Considering we're still -6 in the hole, and we're probably going to be drafting a quarterback this year, I think we are going to cut Geno Smith as well, just because it would save us $31 million. And, you know, we're still negative in cap. We're probably going to draft a QB, but also get a bridge quarterback too. So we cut Tyler Lockett and Geno Smith, also cut Kenny McIntosh, and a couple other people. Now we have $24 million cap to work with, and let's see who we want to re-sign. Geno Smith's up for a contract anyway. Jonathan Hankins, he was our starting nose tackle. We probably should try and bring him back. Laken Tomlinson was our starting left guard. We should try and bring him back too. Who else? And then obviously Tyler Lockett is going. So I think the two people we want to bring back is we want to bring back Laken Tomlinson, and we also want to bring back Jonathan Hankins. So let's take a look quickly at what Jonathan Hankins was making last year for the Seattle Seahawks. Here we go. He was a 31-year-old making $2.05 mil. I'm very cool with bringing him back on that deal, if it will load. A nice 1 year, 50% guaranteed. Of course he rejects it. Why wouldn't he reject it? What if I go 2.2? Give him 2.2 mil for a year just to come back, and apparently he just doesn't want to come back. Okay, I'm just going to up the guaranteed. Alright, 2.3 at 1 year, 2.3 mil with 45% guaranteed. Gets the job done for Jonathan Hankins. The next person we want is Laken Tomlinson. So we're going to look at the centers. He's not listed as center, he's listed as guard. And he was on a 1 year, $1.21 million deal. He'll be still a decent depth anyway. So we go, of course, they've made re-signing a lot more hard. I don't know if they updated the website or something. He accepts 1.21 million, and I think we're gonna let everyone else go. There's not too many people that I want to keep. Let's see. Definitely are gonna need a quarterback. Running back, wide receiver, probably gonna grab a receiver. Tight end is fine. Offensive line is, even though the interior, like, look at all these tackles we have. Probably should have cut some. And then linebacker, definitely need a couple of them. Maybe a depth corner. But biggest issue we need is we need a quarterback. And honestly, let's have some fun. Russell Wilson coming back to the Steelers. Not the Steelers. Back to the Seattle Seahawks on a 1.5. They'll pay him a little bit more because he's Russell freaking Wilson. For a 1 year. Rejected. Cool. Love it. How about a 2 mil? I really want to bring you back, Russ, for 1 year. But if you're going to be a bitch about it, I can go 2.5 with 50%. Oh my god, Russ. You did not play good enough to warrant this good of a deal. You're rejecting it. Russ. I can't go too much higher than this. Russell Wilson. You played for 1.2 million last year. And you're rejecting 3.5 million? Can we make a lot of it guaranteed? What the hell? A 1 year, 4.5 mil? I guess you were a starter the entire year. Jeez. I don't want to pay him $5 million. But, like, I want to have some fun and bring him back to the freaking Seahawks. Okay, we're not getting Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, Seahawks fans, Russell Wilson hates you. Think about that. Russell Wilson absolutely hates you. So, honestly, by that logic, I think the guy we're going to go with is Minshew, I guess. Was he on the Raiders? He was on a 2 year, $12.5 million deal. I guess to be the starting quarterback, you're going to want to be paid a little bit more. It is a 1 year. I mean, you know what? It's a 1 year. Screw it. We're just going to get him. $8 million. If he rejects this, you are a Russell Wilson. You are the worst person I think I've ever seen. You played for $1 million last year. You barely had a good season, and now you're asking for 10 plus mil? Like, what are we doing here? You're rejecting it again. Let's try and get Jameis. Jameis was being paid a 1 year, $4 million deal. Let's go. Let's go 1 year, $4 million. He rejects it. Let's go 1 year, $5 million. We'll do like 60%. Thank God. Thank God. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Russell Wilson, you didn't want to come back to the Seattle Seahawks. You are a terrible person. Jameis, Sam Howell, Jaron Hall. We now have a quarterback that we're probably going to start this year. DK, JSN. We have Jake Bobo and Derek Young. Honestly, probably going to grab one in the draft because I do want to use. I'll probably offer Will Hernandez 1 year deal. He played for Arizona last year. What was he on? I know he's on a $4.5 million deal. If I go 4.5 for 1 year and I give him a lot guaranteed, he'll accept it to be a decent, once again, Band-Aid guard. And then the last person I want to get is I want to get a linebacker. And I think I'm going to get Nick Bolton. And I know he was I'm pretty sure he was still on his rookie deal. So linebackers, 15 mil. If I can get him for could I get him for 8 mil over 3 years? Get a 3 year, 8 million, 45%. Yeah. We have 3 mil in cap space remaining. We complete the free agency. We signed Jameis, Nick Bolton, and Will Hernandez. So cutting Geno Smith. wish they could have gotten back Russell Wilson, but he was too busy being a dick. And signing Will Hernandez and Nick Bolton. Overall, not too bad of a free agency. I mean, we got a lot of our cap position, and Geno Smith was, as much as Seahawks fans probably hate to see it, and they'll probably get a lot of stick in the comments. I mean, Geno Smith was a big cap casualty, and, it really helped us sign a bunch of other guys. So, yeah, let's do it. Get to the draft. All right, Seattle Seahawks draft. We were going 7 rounds. I see that we have a lot of picks in this draft, I'd say. Overall, do I want to trade back with any of these people? Probably not. I think I'm good sticking and picking. I see Jalen Walker. I see Armand Membu. I see Derek Harmon, Nick Emenwari. Overall, I think that if we're picking someone right here, there's no other person it can be besides Jalen Walker. He gives a really good edge presence. He also has a great linebacker presence as well, which is something that Seattle Seahawks, I mean, they do have Byron Murphy, who was okay this year, but not amazing, and Derek Hall. Once again, these guys are edge rushers, but they're not amazing edge rushers. You need a guy who could be an absolute elite edge rusher. Jalen Walker is your guy. I'm super high on him, and yeah. So now we're here at pick number 50, and this is where I think we're going to take a quarterback. Okay, I'm going to make an executive decision here. Jackson Dart is projected to go in the first round. So Jalen Milroe going over him makes absolutely zero sense. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pick Jackson Dart here at 50. But Jackson Dart is Jalen Milroe. If the Giants have the number 2 overall pick in the second round and Jackson Dart is still on the board, Jackson Dart is going over Milroe 10 times out of 10. And it's not even close. Jackson Dart is supposed to be a first rounder anyway. I wish there's a way you can make your own rankings, but this is going to be not Jackson Dart, but this is Jalen Milroe here going to the Seattle Seahawks, hopefully to learn under Jameis Winston. Not the best teacher that you can ask for. He's still a decent teacher, and he's a good quarterback. So now we have 82. With this quick pick, we have defense. We got our quarterback. The next one I want to get is probably a receiver. Jalen Royals, Jack Beck, Torrey Houghton, Caden Prather. I think I'm just going to go the Utah State receiver, best receiver available. He'll be a decent number 3. Not the biggest fan of Jake Bobo and Derek Young being our 3 and 4, but let's just take Jalen Royals. All I have to say is he's a decent-ish wide receiver, and he'll be a decent weapon for Jameis and Jalen to throw to. All J's. Are we doing an all J draft today? I mean, could keep it going with Jimmy Horn or Ja'Cory Brooks. Let's see. What else have we got? Ali Gordon, Jake Brenningstool. I think, honestly, yeah, we're going to keep the J's going. And we're going to take Jake Brenningstool out of Clemson. Seattle needs a tight end. Noah Fant is not going to be that guy for much longer. He's getting up there in age. He's not even that good to begin with. I mean, he's a decent player, but, take a shot at a tight end as well. Give someone a security blanket to throw to, whoever that is at quarterback. I think Jake Brenningstool is a good decision right here. Next up, I know the safety just went. Our DB room, I think, is still fine. So I don't think I'm going to mess with it. We have a lot of picks coming up here. So I think we're just going to kind of get depth at a lot of defensive positions. And I think we're going to go first with the number 173rd ranked player. We're going to get more of like a true off-ball linebacker, And that is going to be Jamon Dumas Johnson out of Kentucky. We're just going to have some fun today, and I want to try and draft as many J names as I can. I mean, I guess Jalen Milroe literally still counts, but overall, I do think that this still is a good pick. Like, obviously, I'm not going to pick a J name just because it is, if it's not a good pick. But a linebacker here, even though we already got Jalen Walker, we can have Jalen Walker coming off the edge, and then Dumas Johnson playing as like that real linebacker. But overall, there's so many stuff that you can do with both of them together that I think it just makes sense. The next position we're going to go with is an edge. K. Robinson out of Alabama. I really like him as well. I think he's super underrated in this draft. And, you know, if you can get help at edge, I think that K. Robinson definitely be the solution to a very glaring problem at edge. You have a good defensive tackle room, but you don't have a great edge room. The next position we're going to take is probably a safety, and I see still pick number 196, pick number 195 should have been Hunter Wohler, and I think we're going to take him now. You know, he's a solid safety for Indiana. I've taken him in a couple drafts already, and overall, I think he's, you know, going to be a good safety. And the Seahawks, while their secondary is great, Hunter Wohler could definitely improve it even more. So we get another safety depth. We got receiver. Overall, is there any other quarterbacks here? No. If there was another quarterback, I was probably going to take another one just for, like, whatchamacallit, depth's sake. But now we're going to go offensive guard. And it's between Gray, Truss, and Gideon overall. Kobe King just went. And Willie Lampkin. Oh, why do I feel like Willie Lampkin was like a third rounder, though? He probably wasn't, but all right. Overall, I think I'm just going to go with the highest projected one in Joshua Gray out of Oregon State. Nothing too much to say here. We need depth at guard. Joshua Gray is a decent guard. Hopefully he can be a decent guard for us in the future too. 236, our final pick in the draft. I've pretty much been doing this for a lot of teams. In the best running back class in I don't know how many years. This is going to be one of the most stacked running back classes ever. And if you're just a team, you might as well take a shot on one of these guys. I know you got Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, but they've both shown to be injury prone. And you know what? It might be a good idea to grab someone like Donovan Edwards in the 7th round. A guy who you know has the talent to be good, but overall hasn't lived up to the hype, especially this year. Donovan Edwards took a huge step back, becoming the RB1. So let's take a look at the Seattle Seahawks offseason. Jameis Winston starting at quarterback with Jalen Milroe as the second, learning under him. K9 and Zach Charbonnet, along with Donovan Edwards as the 3. DK, JSN, and Jalen Royals, along with Noah Fant and Jake Brenningstool. Charles Cross, Laken Tomlinson, Oluwatimi, probably Will Hernandez and Abraham Lucas. Hankins, Leonard Williams. You got 2 good linebacker prospects in Dumas Johnson and Jalen Walker that can start with you. And then the secondary is pretty much the same. Overall, I think that even though Geno Smith is not the best quarterback in the league, overall, I think that the Seattle Seahawks definitely get worse from this year to the next. And they're going to have a lot harder of a schedule. So I think they're going to be in the hunt once again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.